Up until a few days ago, there were a core set of mutations that I pretty much always used in Grounded. These included Buff Lungs, Cardio Fan, Beach Shield, Natural Explorer, Coup de Grace, and Mithridatism. I would estimate that 95% of the time I was using some combination of these mutations. Only in very unique situations did I substitute in others. This all changed last week when I was struggling to defeat the Broodmother in my new solo playthrough. During my livestream, a viewer suggested dropping Cardio Fan, which I initially scoffed at. I quickly realized the error of my ways after some quick testing with it on and off, and then proceeded to comfortably defeat the Broodmother. In this video, I'll tell you why you shouldn't use the Cardio Fan mutation. Make sure to hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future Grounded videos. Let's get started. First things first, let's talk about what Cardio Fan is and how you unlock it. Cardio Fan is a mutation. It's going to give you hyper stamina. It's going to help you regenerate your stamina quicker. And it's unlocked in 3 phases. Phase 1, I believe, is depleting your stamina bar completely 100 times. And I think phase 2 is 200 or 250. Then phase 3 is like 500. And the stamina bar is the aqua colored bar in the bottom left corner next to your thirst meter. And when you deplete it, what that means is you have to get it all the way down to 0. So we'll just quickly do some click in here. Let's try to deplete it by doing some attacking, running, sprinting, using any kind of weapon and anything will deplete it. So when it goes all the way down like that, that means it's depleted. So what this mutation is supposed to do is help it regenerate faster. That's what hyper stamina is. You can see hyper stamina is over here on the OS. It says regain stamina faster. And it's in 3 phases, like I said. Phase 1 is going to give you a 10% buff. Phase 2 is 15, and phase 3 is 20%. So that means at phase 3, it's going to regenerate your stamina 20% faster. Now, this sounds great, right? Well, the reality is that your stamina regenerates pretty quickly, even when using heavy armor, in about 4 seconds, even with Buff Lungs one giving you pretty much the maximum stamina. I guess you could drink a smoothie and get higher stamina, but Buff Lungs is going to give you about 150% stamina. So even with having near max stamina, it's only going to take about 4 seconds, even with heavy armor on, because right now I'm using the Ladybug armor, for my stamina to come back. So what the Cardio Fan is going to do is it's going to allow it to regenerate in like about 3.2 seconds roughly, and that's almost not even noticeable. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take it off first, and I'm going to show you how long it takes for it to regenerate just visually. I'm not going to show the timer on here. I did time it before I started recording this just to see exactly what it was, and it was about 4 seconds. So right now our stamina is completely empty, and you can see it's regenerating. It regenerated pretty decently. Now, if we go and put it on, we're going to do the same process. We're just going to drain our stamina all the way by sprinting and attacking, and you're going to see that it comes back only slightly faster. Honestly, to the naked eye, it's almost going to be not even noticeable. And that's using heavy armor. So this is the slowest possible regeneration time because we're using heavy armor. Now we can substitute in and put on the spider armor, which is light armor and also has bonus of giving stamina back quicker. And what we're going to do is we're going to drain our stamina with this on, and you're going to see what happens. Now this does reduce attack stamina, so it's going to take longer for me to drain it by attacking. We're just going to get our armor all the way down, our stamina all the way down, and it comes back fairly quick. But if we take it off, we're going to run around and do the same thing. You're going to notice that the amount of time it takes for each one of them is such a small difference that in reality, Cardio Fan is just not worth using. And this is coming from someone who has been using Cardio Fan pretty much since I started playing the game again, basically full time in, I think, May of this year. So that was when it was off. It actually almost, like I said, you can't even notice the difference. And the reason I'm not using it anymore is because, like I said in the intro, I was fighting the Broodmother and I couldn't keep my stamina up when I was fighting her. And somebody said, ditch Cardio Fan, put Parry Master on, because then you'll be able to block her attacks better, because I think everyone knows I'm not that great at parrying or perfect blocking. I'm getting better, but I'm not that great yet. So that's definitely going to help with that. And the Cardio Fan, like I said, I laughed about it. I was like, there's no way this is going to be worth doing. And then I just quickly did a similar test like I just did. And I ran around and I was like, you know what, you're right. Even though it says 20%, the stamina comes back at a pretty decent rate, especially if you have light armor on. Stamina is not that much of an issue. But in this case, I was using roly-poly armor, so I was having trouble managing my stamina. And even having Cardio Fan off, it didn't even make any difference. Like, I didn't even notice a difference in terms of how fast my stamina was replenishing. And I was able to use a different mutation. So, like, in general now, I'm just not going to use Cardio Fan. I think for me to actually consider using this in the future, the buffs are going to have to be something like maybe like 20, 30, and 50% or something like that. Like, I want to see this stamina bar skyrocketing back up when I have Cardio Fan on. I don't want it to take almost 4 seconds for it to come back. It needs to be like half that. Otherwise, the mutation is just not worth it when you could be using one of the other mutations in here that's going to have a much more meaningful impact. For example, Meat Shield gives you 50% more health, and Buff Lungs gives you 50% more stamina. Coup de Grace gives you a 25% chance of getting a critical hit. Mithridatism protects you from poison. Juicy will reduce the rate at which you get hungry and thirsty. So there's just like, there's all these different things in here. Natural Explorer will let you run a little bit quicker. That one's not that great, to be honest. But if you're using the Spicy Antlion Greatsword, which I think most people are probably using at this point, you can just use Blade Master, and your sword will repair itself, and you'll never have to repair it. So at this point, Cardio Fan is just not worth it. And like I said, I hope they do buff it in the future, but right now, it's just not that great, and it's definitely not going to be in my rotation, no matter what I'm doing in Grounded. That's why I stopped using Cardio Fan. Unless your mutation gets buffed in a future update, I won't be using it. I'd much rather use the limited mutation slots for one that provides a more meaningful impact. If you have been using Cardio Fan, will you continue to use it, or will you be ditching it too? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button and consider subscribing for more videos just like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.